Have you ever wanted to go on a heartfelt journey in the lives of your loved ones and newfound acquaintances? Do you enjoy listening and engaging in uplifting discussions that leave you motivated and inspired to take action in your own life? This podcast is a space where we have in-depth conversations on family, health, spirituality, entrepreneurship, and well, just plain old life. I'm Jesse DeLeon, and this is my passion. Join me on a walk into the fascinating narratives and meaningful conversations that shape our experiences. Welcome to The Knowing, a Life and Stories podcast. Good day, everyone. Let me tell you a story about one of my sisters. I'm going to tell you a story within a story. So it starts out, we're kids. We're basically kind of assigned to each other. My father and mother kind of put boy, girl. So we kind of learned how to dance that way and learned how to use our table manners that way. And then the older sibling sort of looked out for the other. In this case, it was my sister, Estelle. She has always been a light and a force at the same time. We used to practice dancing together. And one time I remember, this was so common, Estelle, a song came on the radio and we were at a red light and she said, Jesse, let's get out. Let's go. Let's dance. And I just jumped out of the car. I was probably, 11 years old or 12 years old. And we started dancing to the song on the radio. She was always, a light to our family. And she definitely, has her views on things but I always knew she had my back. And so we would dance together. She would suggest how I should dress, what I should wear for the day. She would hand me a book and say, here, read this. She was always trying to teach me something, always wanting to teach me what she'd learned. And I would, like a sponge, I would absorb it. And so, yeah, she'd always hand me a magazine article or a book article. We could be by the pool. We could be in the car. She's driving. And this went on throughout our life and is into adulthood as well. And I remember she saying, you see this picture? This is how I want you to dress. This is the way you do your tie. It was Prince Charles. It had nothing to do with he as a person. It's just that she liked the way he dressed. And so she was right. She, it always, I always managed to feel like I looked good at least. And she definitely, had that effect on me. She also suggested that I join the band and learn how to play an instrument. But of course, she had the instrument chosen for me. It was a saxophone, the alto sax. And I'm like, I don't even know if I want to play this. I actually thought I wanted to play the violin, but that was her choice. And I did it. And I played for 6 years. Don't even know if I'd remember how to play it. It was so long ago. The second part of this story within the story, it happened yesterday. She came into the salon and she had an appointment with me and she mentions the podcast. And she says, well, Jess, I like the way the podcast is going and, you're definitely improving. She said, but that last podcast of yours, that last episode, I don't know. She said, I don't know what you were trying to say. I don't know what the message was. In the past, I might have gotten offended by that. And instead of getting offended, I listened and she definitely had her opinion about it. And she was halfway right for sure. And she just went on to tell me that, I sound better. I sound more confident. She also thought I sounded a little too excited about the guest I had on the show, but I was excited. I was so excited to be talking to somebody across the world. Wow. Isn't that amazing that you can meet someone on now social media? And I know I mentioned this when I introduced Martin Aspelund for that episode on the power in reading. And on looking back and listening to it myself, I thought, ooh, I sounded like so giddy, like a little high school girl or a high school boy. But I was really so excited, and I know I expressed it a lot on that episode. So, and another friend actually said the same thing. So maybe there's something to that. But for those of you who didn't maybe get the episode either, or maybe felt like I was a little bit too excited, just, I was, and I'm not going to apologize about it. I'm just going to say, keep listening, keep supporting it. And I'm learning, I'm growing. My production team, they're awesome. Jeffrey and Darren, always supporting me and just encouraging me. And in fact, you can't see Jeffrey, but I can see him, because when I do these commentaries, I call them, it's kind of nice to see someone there that kind of keeps me in check. So thank you, Jeffrey. And so I'm not upset with my sister. The other part, I am grateful, because I know she's always had my back, and I know she means well. And in that same conversation, she went on to say, I'm so proud of you. And I thought, wow, that's my brother. That's my kid brother. And I said, Estelle, I am so grateful to you, because you were always getting me to read and pushing me and having me reach out outside of myself and really grow. And it's partly because of you that, and I want to acknowledge my other brothers and sisters for certain, that it's because of all of you that I am who I am today. This podcast is such a passion for me. And this, they're always going to have people in our lives, especially people that we care about, family, that are going to want to tell us what they feel and give us their opinion, their thoughts. Guys, be open to it. Don't take offense to it. When we take offense, we're shutting down. We're not open to whatever it is in that conversation that can teach us to grow and propel us forward and have us step out more on that precipice of life that is there to challenge us and to make us a better person, a better human, better at what we do. And so when in the future, when you're faced with a family, a member, a friend that wants to just give you their opinion, be open to it. You don't have to take the advice, but I'm just going to suggest that you be open to it, because it's there to help you. It's there to serve as a guide. And if you can't trust your family and your friends, who can you trust? And how can we begin to trust people that we meet in the world if we don't already learn trust from our own community that we live in? So I'm just going to advise you to pay attention. Again, you don't always have to take the advice, but it's always good to sort of pay attention and listen. I was talking to my sister Lisa this morning, and we were talking about a story in scripture. And I'm not going to get religious on you. I'm just going to tell you a story quickly. And I reminded her of it. I said, remember when David was sold into slavery by his brothers, and the brothers went back and told the father he's dead, never gone. Father was sad. Years later, there's a big famine throughout the land. David's enslaved, and he's given advice and telling stories and to the guards and to fellow prisoners. And then it reaches the king, and the king's like, bring him to me. I want to see what he has to say to me. And then he winds up becoming the right-hand person, second in command, later to face to face with his brothers who didn't recognize him. He recognized them, and he was gracious. He treated them with kindness and respect. And the point of the story is, maybe our family and friends aren't always going to give us the best advice, or maybe they may not seem to have the best intentions, but let's take the good part of it, and let's try to just remain in trust. That's definitely worked for me. And this leads me to how I'm doing what I'm doing now. Like, I wanted to do this podcast for a long time, and I kept talking myself out of it. And it's the people around me in my community, my family, my friends, who kept asking, when is this podcast going to happen? What's happening with it? And I just kept saying, it's on the shelf. It's on the shelf. I'll get back to it. And then my sister yesterday, Estelle, said, Jesse, I thought you were done. I thought you'd forgotten about it. I just thought you'd given up, that you changed your mind. And she said, sometimes you do that. And I said, well, Estelle, again, thank you for pointing it out. But I was just feeling doubtful. I just wasn't feeling confident about the podcast, about how I can affect people's lives, but how it can serve the purpose in what I'm supposed to learn from it, and that this is a gift for me. And I want to embrace it, and it's important, and I feel called to do this. So I want to talk about your gifts. I want to bring up how important it is for all of us to recognize that we all have gifts, many gifts. This is just one of mine, and I'm so blessed to have. And it's easy to talk yourself out of not pursuing your gift, or at least looking inside yourself to see what other gifts lie within. I'm here to tell you there are many gifts that lie within, guys. You just have to see it for yourselves. Have to look inside and go for it. Just do it. Connect with that, and allow the people in your lives to remind you of those gifts, to hold you accountable, to refresh your memory. And it's important to think about those gifts as like a side hustle. Think of it as another platform for you, by which you can speak from, by which you can earn a living from, create and generate revenue from. We have so much more time in our day than we think we do. So make the best of that time. And I find that putting it in my calendar doesn't always work the way I'd like it to work, but it definitely keeps me on track. Whether it's to read 10 minutes a day, journal 10 minutes a day, work out an hour a day, make time to take an hour for lunch, because I own my own business. I can do that. Thank God. And so there's always time in the day to look inside, connect with your gift, pursue your gifts, and make it happen. Turn the light on, guys. That's really what I want to say. It's just turn the light on. And when the light's on, that also welcomes people to come to your door and be there for you. So let's let people be there for us, especially the people that are there to care for us and to love us. So start sharing your gift. I hope this helps. I'm inspired every morning when I wake up and I do my meditation and prayer and connect with my social media people. And it reminds me to stay. I look forward to talking with you soon.